guy taught me so much. I walked into the Rice Media Center in 1975, and the reason I went there was that I was working at KPRC TV, the NBC affiliate.
Yeah.
I had been hired in '73 to come in to the production department, to the documentary film unit, and become a documentary film producer. Now, I knew nothing about television, but back then in the early '70s, there was this concept called affirmative action. I was brought up in 16 millimeter film and didn't really know anything about it. No one in my world wanted to do video. They hated video. Well, I was smart enough to realize, well, look, I need to go and learn video and Super 8, and I heard there's incredible things going on. This guy James Blue, he's here. So I went and met him, and totally disarming guy, very charming, very open, very friendly. He says, yeah, Rice University was allowing all of these deadbeats like me that weren't even students to come in and go through a film and Super 8 production program. So I went over there and I learned video. And in 1977, when the TV stations here locally dropped film and went to video, I had a job because I knew video, thanks to James Blue, right? I mean, he was very friendly. The most interesting story I can tell you is that you have a copy of that film we shot on the field of the Battle of San Jacinto, where Jim played Sam Houston, and he's lying under a tree. We reenacted the scene where they bring Santa Anna up to talk to him, and James Blue is very stern. And I played the part of Almonte, Colonel Almonte, who was a Cuban who fought with the Mexican army. He was an advisor or something, but he was a Cuban, so I had to figure out how to speak Cuban Spanish to this guy who played Santa Anna. He would speak Mexican Spanish to me, I would speak Cuban Spanish to him, and then as the translator, but this is all based on historical fact, of course, I turned to Sam Houston, James Blue, and so during the takes, we were all standing around. I'd go over and I'd try to talk to James. I'd say, about something, I don't know, the weather, whatever. He would just look at me and give me like a look like, you piece of crap. And I didn't realize, see, because I was so stupid, I didn't realize it was his attempt to stay in character, And so I was the vanquished foe to him. I was a piece of crap. I was his enemy, his vanquished enemy. And he was treating me as such. And I got confused. I didn't realize, because I'm a dummy and I was a kid. And so I walked away. I was hurt. And then it hit me. Hey, wow, he's Sam Houston. He's not James Blue. And that was like, an awakening. This guy, he showed me incredible things. He showed me documentaries. He showed me Godard. He showed me Truffaut. He showed me he awakened within me a thirst to understand the filmmaking of the world. Stuff that I had never seen. I'm from the barrio. I'm from the hood here. I'd never even been on a campus like Rice. Hell, I'm a school dropout, and yet here I am at Rice with this guy and seeing on the waterfront, seeing the man John Ford, the man who shot Liberty Valance. We're watching this stuff, and of course, I, for one, since I love history, found everything that he showed me, I found interesting, but then it began to fascinate me. Godard, Bergman, Death walking on the beach. And I'm going, wow, hey, wait a minute. That's Death walking away. I know that guy. He owes me some money. He lives over in the hood. He lives over down the street from me. Stuff like that. So if you hung around Blue, and even if you partly paid attention, you were going to absorb so much from him. First of all, he was a force of nature. He was quiet. I never once, maybe only once, heard him raise his voice. He was thoughtful. You could tell he had a thoughtful and profound basis of himself. He was unlike many of us, very secure in his own skin, because he knew what he was. He knew what he had done, and he knew where he was going. And I was a 20-something kid trying to figure out, what am I going to do? I want to be part of this. And just by sheer luck, I walked into the media center, and Blue said, "Yeah, come on, come join us."
Do you remember who some of the other people were?
Sylvia Garcia, who is now a state senator.
She was one of his students, or
Yes,
one of the people participated?
yes. She walked in there. She just moved up here from some little town, some little ranch in South Texas, where she used to pick cotton. And I don't know how she got in there, but I grabbed her right away because she was a Latina, and I said, "Let's make a movie." I was making a documentary film on the Super 8 equipment that the dual system that Blue developed at Rice. Okay, I was using that equipment and making a documentary about the life of my grandfather. A documentary about my grandfather, and that documentary never got finished. It's in their archive somewhere on Super 8, shot in Super 8, and with dual sound. And he taught me how to use a Nagra. Well, actually, I'd been using a Nagra already, but I would sneak out the Nagra and take it all over the place and just do sound recordings. He awakened in all of us a spirit of, hey, let's do this. Let's try it. We'll fail. We'll fail. He'll say, you'll fail. And he says, but if you're smart, your failures will be bigger and better than any successes you'll ever have. To this day, I see what he meant. Because I've been in this game 47 years, and I've failed over and over and over and over, fail. But I'm not a failure because he taught me if you keep trying, then you're not a failure. He imparted so many world lessons into us. He imparted, I'm a teacher, and what do we call it? I can't remember the term, but we have a term now called life lessons. I'm actually a mentor to many children in my community, Mexican American children, and they look up to me. They consider me an elder of my tribe, and I'm considered a resource, an elder, and a mentor. And the first thing I tell my kids is what James Blue told me. He says, keep trying, and you'll never fail. Wow.